We finally did it. This is the last of the Tales episodes. Thank you guys for being patient. I really appreciate y'all.
What's up? I'm Isaac.
I got hit in the face by a stripper.
And I'm Nick. I'm like a fat girl in 7th grade at 7 a.m.
Welcome to the Bargoyles,
where we break down restaurants, bars,
and the chaos of stand-up comedy.
From bad Yelp reviews
to heckler horror stories,
we've got the inside scoop
and the laughs.
Yeah, I think I know from that podcast, Bargoyles Podcast.
I was gonna say I love you guys. You guys are amazing. Shout out.
Who needs therapy when you got the Bargoyles?
Stuff. Guys, welcome. This is Bargoyles, episode 155. Back out of my mom's basement. We're here. We did New Orleans, then we left New Orleans, then we did Austin, and then we went to another place in Austin, then we're back in Austin. We're having a great time. This bartender met through the app on Tales of the Cocktail. We reached out, come to find out they were going to be in a city we were in afterwards, so we're here. I'm very excited to introduce to you guys, soon to be my friend, hopefully soon to be yours. Give it up for Kelly. What's up, Kelly?
Hello, how are you?
Going well. I've been burning the candle at two ends for too long now, so I'm very excited to just go back and rest a little bit.
Nice. Yes, I got that post-Tales exhaustion.
Post-Tales exhaustion. I went from Tales to a bachelor party to then I did about 3 interviews today and then man on the street stuff. So
wow.
Just been working and haven't been able to take a moment.
Yeah.
So, yeah. So you're based here in Austin, correct?
Yes, yeah, I am. I'm from San Antonio, so just down the road, but I am back here in Austin. But happy to be back in my home state of Texas.
Mm-hmm. Oh, so what happened when you left Texas? What was going on?
Kind of a post-COVID-ish, I guess kind of during
Cabin
COVID-ish,
fever.
2021. I was just really looking for a change. I had been bartending consistently for like 5 or 6 years at that point, and so I went off to Colorado for a little bit.
Oh, very cool.
Utah for a little while, and then just came back in January.
You're bartending in Utah?
I was, yeah.
Whoa, tell me about how that hotel bar was, or that was a shot in the dark.
I was at a hotel bar for part of that, but also, so I have a really good friend, Sam Miller, and bar mentor, who owns a bar down there called Remora, and I got the opportunity to go work with him and his team, and highly recommend Utah. Give it a chance. I know it's a quirky place, but they've got a great and super close-knit bar scene down there, so definitely worth checking out.
Well, as this episode comes out, you guys at home will have seen we did an episode with Rob Nestor and Drinking with Robots. This is the first time in the history of the show we've had another podcast show on, and now we have mutual guests. This is so cool. You told me that before the show. That's absolutely crazy. How did you get connected with Rob and Drinking with Robots?
Yeah, so I think we did their Friday the 13th episode, and so I am friends with Ingrid.
Okay. Oh, Ingrid's awesome. Love her to death.
We met at a really cool event called Herd House that happened in January in Fort Worth, put on by Herd Card Game and Chandler Tomiko, and it was just an awesome event where I got to connect with a bunch of bartenders who I had kind of like been introduced to or acquaintances with, but I really got to spend time with them and pick their brain, and so it kind of stemmed from that introduction.
I think it's so cool. People don't honestly believe like how interconnected this bartending scene is, that like you can go to, I mean, I know we all went to Tales. Tales is, it's an easy beacon to say, yeah, I met a bunch of people there, but the moment you leave Tales, you're not in New Orleans, you're like, I'm not going to run into these people again, and then it just happens like that. The bar scene's so connected. How has that been for you, like traveling-wise between Utah and Denver and out back here in Texas? When you come back, do you see a lot of the same people, or is it kind of a brand new scene?
Just like you said, you kind of run into people all over, so
Just
I haven't done too many events this year. Been, pretty much just staying here in Austin and doing work here. But I've run into people. I was in D.C. in January, ran into people who I met at Tales the year before.
Shout out D.C., Service Bar, Capri, fucking Allegory.
Yep, that definitely made that stop. It was so awesome to see them. They brought out the bubble guns. They made my whole night.
Oh, very cool, very cool.
Just kind of, you never know who you're going to run into. Especially Austin is small but big at the same time. So I've ran into people here that I know from Camp Brennemuck, that I know from Tales of the Cocktail. Just now, earlier today I was at an event and I ran into someone from camp that I just met like 2 months ago. So, and then, like I said, we were both at Tales and now we both happen to be back in Austin. So very, very small world.
So, how many tales have you done so far?
This was my third tales.
Third tales. Okay, you got to speak. We've only done 2. Give your kind of rundown of like your must-dos. We talked about it on the last episode with a guy who he went by himself for his first time, and he had spent years talking about like it's kind of scary to go by yourself when you don't really know what you're walking into. So to the people who are kind of on the edge, who don't know whether or not they could go by themselves, give them the rundown.
So you can definitely go by yourself. That's not an issue. You're going to find friends there, that's for sure. I will say it can be very overwhelming if you've never been. So go with kind of a game plan that definitely is helpful. You're not going to be able to do everything. That's just, the name of it. You're not going to be able to hit every event. And you don't have to. My suggestion would be pick the ones that stand out the most, the ones that might be sold out a little bit busier, and definitely try to get there early. You don't have to finish every cocktail. There's
yes.
so many, so
yes.
I always recommend that. And then I'd say pick like 2 really, really cool things a day, or really big things that you want to get to, and make that the point. And remember, it is a marathon, not a race. Especially if you're going for the full week.
So what were your biggest takeaways from your first tales and your third tales, I want to ask?
So my first tales, I went with no game plan and a group of friends, and it was awesome. We had a great time, but I definitely didn't know what I was walking into. So I think maybe taking some time for yourself, and there's an itinerary, there's the Hoover app, there's all these things that you have, all these resources, but just make a loose itinerary for yourself, and don't be afraid to take some time to just kind of have your alone time, or maybe take a midday nap, if you will. So that was my first experience. The second year, I had the honor of working for 4 amazing different brands, and getting to see kind of like the working aspect. And I got to cosplay as a New Orleans bartender for 4 days, which was awesome.
Cool.
But I would say go through and look at the descriptions of the events before. Make time for yourself. Don't be afraid to have like a midday pool break, and you don't have to do it all.
Oh, there's pool parties. Those aren't good breaks.
I was gonna say, I don't know if you're talking about like taking a break and maybe like not being so overstimulated around people. Maybe book a hotel that's out of the way that has a nice pool, and just make sure you take some time for yourself. That
was definitely one for us. We got an Airbnb a block away, and I was like, we're still a block away, but we passed by the Ritz, and every time you start getting pulled in, we're
exactly.
like, oh no, wait,
FOMO.
Oh no, we could do that. We don't need this nap. Like it's tough. You got to really balance your energy there. That was one thing we talked about with Caitlin from Likeable Cocktails. Absolutely amazing person. She was on her 5th tale, and she goes, really take this, like having that time to conversations with the veterans who've been going to tales. It's one of those, you really need to prioritize your energy and your time.
Definitely.
Yeah. So talk to me a little bit about the culture shift difference for you between bartending between Denver and Utah and Austin. Obviously they have their pros and cons.
They're all super different. And then just a side note, I wasn't actually in Denver. I know that gets all the love.
You said Colorado.
And I do love Denver, but I was actually in a really
Colorado
cool
Springs
town called Crested Butte.
Dang it. Crested
Butte.
Okay.
Little ski town. That
little chalet.
Is the most beautiful place I've ever been, and is the wildflower capital of Colorado. And so there, it's very tourist driven, very seasonal. So that was my first opportunity to work seasonally. And my second season, I got to take 3 full months off and travel, which was the first time I've been able to do that in the service industry. So that was a big shock. And
time
also,
off? What?
The drinking culture in Colorado is very different. I was in a ski town, or as they call it, a drinking town with a ski problem. So it's definitely, I was a little more laid back, and it was nice. It was a different pace, different clientele. And then moving into Utah, which was entirely different. It's also a tourist-driven place, but then you have your locals. A lot of them drink differently or moderate differently. So I think I had to learn to be a little more creative.
Okay.
And, that kind of helped me transition into what I'm doing now in the world of non-alcoholic spirits. So it's nice being back in Texas after 4 years. And I will say, like, the trends here have changed a lot, too.
Yeah.
I'm from San Antonio. It's no mistake that San Antonio and Austin or Texas does have like a drinking culture associated with it. We love a good ranch water. We love a margarita. It's a hot place. But
what is this ranch water I keep hearing about?
Ranch water?
I've seen the cans, and I'm like, that's not what they're talking about.
So those are very popular, but the way that I was taught, and this was, years ago when I first started bartending, tequila soda with a splash of lime juice, salted rim upon request.
Okay, tequila soda splash. Okay.
Yeah.
All right, very cool. Okay, I did not know. I keep seeing
everyone makes it this big thing, but it's a really simple cocktail. So that's definitely what we're known for. But I will say, moving back, I've noticed the drinking trends are becoming a little more open-minded. People are imbibing less or just differently. I know my drinking trends have changed since coming back home, and it's really nice that people are accommodating and they're making sure that there's something for everybody on every menu, and it feels like a really nice move in the right direction.
Very cool. So you're working in the NA space currently?
I am.
Talk to me about that. What's going on?
So I work with a really amazing brand called Pathfinder. We are a non-alcoholic distilled spirit, and we come from the Pacific Northwest, but we are honestly so cool. As a bartender, it's fun because you can use us in a variety of different ways. I love to say that we are a Swiss Army knife, but we're also just a really cool spirit that happens to be NA. We taste great. The branding is amazing. We're versatile. I like it by itself. I like it mixed into cocktails. One of my favorite ways to enjoy it is definitely in more of like a tropical vibe, like a Trinidad sour.
Okay.
But you could also do it in something that's like super spirit forward or stirred. So I think overall, I just have an immense pride for where the NA game is going and where it's come from and how it's becoming a little more mainstream and accessible. But yeah, it's an amazing product, and I'm very, very happy to work with them and for them.
It's such a beautiful thing seeing the NA space really be kind of picked up in this community, because there was kind of that stigma, I feel like 5 years ago, 10 years ago, where someone hanging out at a bar not drinking, you're like, what's going on?
Right?
Yeah, what's going on?
Like, yeah.
Oh man, like, are you on the edge? Like, dude, we can talk. We don't need to have alcohol to do this. We can have this conversation, and now we're slowly realizing that like watering holes are also just for water sometimes, not for the alcoholic
still
water.
That cultural hub and place where people go to have community and to be around each other, and so it's nice that it's taken a more inclusive direction. For sure.
What would you say would be kind of the first kind of cocktail you would do for somebody who's kind of wanting to, maybe they're a home bartender and they're like, you know what, let me try some of these NA cocktails just so they're getting the rhythm of it without actually having to drink. What would be the Amaro, that you guys are using and the cocktail?
So I always think, this is also with people do this when, in the culinary world, it's pairing things that are familiar.
Okay.
Like, for instance, I really enjoy a Moscow Mule or a Dark and Stormy. So, ginger beer, it's the element I think pairs well with a lot of different things. So I would start there, keep it simple. Ginger beer, Pathfinder, lime, as like kind of a familiarity, like stepping into it. But then you could even, try adding different citrus, try adding a different carbonated beverage. Like, I love it with the Fever Tree grapefruit. It's also really good just with club soda and lemon and like a classic kind of spritzy cocktail. But I would say try something a little more familiar and then get a little more adventurous. Then start trying maybe some of the more, like mixology-esque cocktails and things like that. Okay.
Very good. So what spirit do you say your NA is, an Amaro, or just you guys say spirit?
It's a distilled spirit.
Distilled spirit.
But
okay.
I will say it lends itself most likely to an Amaro.
Okay, that's the question I was kind of getting into, like the kind of jump off cocktails that would be the easiest stepping stone for people.
So like an M&M, Amaro, Montenegro, Mezcal.
Oh,
you can do the same thing with
that's
Pathfinder.
What that's called. Very cool.
Yes, but
love
now
that.
you have like a little lower ABV option. Sometimes when I'm down the street at Mother's Ruin, I'll ask them for a PM. And most of them know that means I want 50-50 Pathfinder and Mezcal.
What? Okay.
You should try it.
I'm with it. I still got one more night here in town. I'm going to hit the town with some friends. I think Jeff might come out. I don't know exactly what's going on. It's my last night. It's one of these where I was like, I've been talking about getting ready for the rest. But when it's your last night of like back-to-back, you got to do something.
Yeah.
You can't not. Very cool, man. I love that so much. Talk to me a little bit about like what Tales kind of means to you and your brand, I guess.
So, we had an amazing activation on Monday. They have this beautiful apothecary museum, which goes hand in hand. So Pathfinder, also known as the destroyer of bad vibes, we kind of play into that snake oil salesman, we cure all type of vibe. And so we had this beautiful space. And our event was awesome. I got to write prescriptions for bad vibes and send people to different bars so they could, get their ailments cured. But at the same time, I think New Orleans is such a beautiful historical city that has such a rich history. It's a cultural city. It's a spiritual city. It's a city built on hospitality, especially from the Black community. And so coming in, it feels like coming into someone's home. I felt super welcomed every time I walked into any of the bars that we were going to, or activations or events. And I think it just has a really special vibe that's not easy to replicate. I don't know. Like, I have a really good friend out there, Kale Brown.
Shout out Kale
Jungle
Brown.
Bird 504. Him and Naima, love them. And anytime I'm at an event and they're behind the bar, it feels like I'm walking into a family function. You know what I mean? It's you're acknowledged, you're seen. It's really, really special. And so for me, it's like coming into someone's home when you're in New Orleans. You can't really find that many places.
Yeah, I can't think of any other conference I can even idealize and go, yeah, it's walking into someone's home with thousands of strangers, and every single person is there, not just to have a good time, but to kind of be hospitable and look out for each other.
Exactly.
The amount of times I'm at a party and I just see guests picking up trash, I'm like, what do you do? They're like, yeah, no, you can never take the person out of the bar. Yeah. It's a beautiful thing they got going on there. Talk to me a little bit about the reception you get here in Austin with your brand, as Austin is kind of known as a very boozy city. How does that conversation go when you're walking into a new bar, kind of to talk about product?
So fortunately, Austin, not unlike San Antonio, is a very service-driven community, and the people who are here, who are in these bars and restaurants and establishments, take a lot of pride in what they do, and they make sure that they know what they're talking about. They educate themselves. They educate their staff. And so with a product like Pathfinder, it's amazing to kind of come into these spaces and see their faces light up when they realize what we are, how we can be applied, how they can have fun with it. So it's been really great. Everyone who I've encountered and, the lovely bar teams that I've been able to work with have been super receptive. I've seen some really, really cool cocktails and cocktail programs come out using Pathfinder. Just, a little shout out to Papercut down the road too. We just got nominated for, I think, best bar team. And
awesome.
They have an amazing carbonated cocktail on their menu with Pathfinder, and it's just so cool because I would have never put the elements together the way they did, and it's elegant, it looks great, it tastes amazing, and you kind of forget that there's not alcohol in it. So it's been really cool to see people embrace it and then run with that creativity.
Very cool, man. I love a city that's very accepting like that, because sometimes you get into those cities where it's not. It's like, no shade to Wisconsin, no shade to the Midwest, but man, if you were the most sober person in the bar there, they will find you and they'll be like, hey, no, we're doing Malort shots. You're like, I'm just here to have a good time. Yeah. We don't have to press
here either. Yeah. They're accommodating in that way, but it is like they do take their craft seriously. So it's been really exciting to see the ways that people have been able to use it.
Very cool. Very cool. We're going to transition into our last segment of the here. We call it Bar Enemy, Bar Friend. And what we do here is we run you, not Pathfinder. She's representing herself right now. We're going to ask questions about her style as a bartender, her style as a guest, kind of all these questions. Some could be hot takes, some could not be, who knows? And then we'll determine whether or not we consider her to be a bar friend or bar enemy. Again, you're representing Kelly.
Kelly, all day.
Yes. Where can they find you, Kelly, if they want to, give a follow, a shout out?
Yeah, my Instagram handle is SpiritedAwayTX.
Fuck that! What a great handle! What a cool handle! One of my favorite movies. Great.
While I was in New Orleans, was able to get an awesome no face from Spirited Away tattoo at Hell or High Water. Tattoo right across from my hotel. So shout out to Hell or High Water. They're an amazing tattoo shop in New Orleans. If you're there for Tales, check them out. Yeah.
Hell yeah, that is super cool. As someone who grew up in Japan, I love seeing people embrace all that, the anime and Studio Ghibli, whatnot. And also, where can they just follow Pathfinder as well if they're looking into some of those products?
Yeah, so Drink the Pathfinder is our Instagram handle. You can also find us at every Sprouts and Total Wine in the country.
Damn, in the fucking country, get out of here. Okay, let's get some questions in here. What do you think? What is the dumbest flex you've seen a guest pull off at a bar?
I know the owner.
Oh, I hate that.
Or when they just casually slide you a custom card with their favorite cocktail recipe that they've butchered on it. I've had that happen several times.
I don't like the index. I want to respect it.
Custom-made card that they've spent money and designed themselves and printed.
Oh, no, yeah.
Oh, it happened all the time.
Okay, I haven't seen that. That is wild. Okay. No, my favorite, I did nightclubs in D.C. It was like, I know the owner. I was like, You want to call him, or do you want me? Like, no,
So do I.
No.
Right. You're like, oh, let me go get him. And then all of a sudden their tone changes real quick.
Yes, yes. Somebody says, surprise me. What is the conversation you're having as a bartender?
I guess first things first, are you allergic to anything? And then, I mean, I don't know. I like bitter stuff. So if they want to get surprised, they might be surprised.
Bitters,
so
man.
Bitters, that's my jam. That's always been my favorite profile. So that's a gamble, but yeah, definitely want to make sure they're safe. So allergies first, and then I'm like, am I in charge? And then if they say yes, then it could be anything. It could be, it could be a shot of bitters. It could be a cocktail that I'm feeling that day. But yeah.
Okay. What is a red flag drink order?
A shot of vodka.
Just yo, people who do warm vodka is crazy.
I get it. You know yourself. You're confident in that, but I also wonder, like, what's really going on? You know?
I'm not confident you're going to be a good guest.
Are we trying to accomplish something, or what's happening here?
What is something you wish all guests knew before they walk into the bar?
That we're just trying to do our job. We're at work. We're people too.
Yeah.
I'm here to provide a service, but at the end of the day, I'm also human, and we should all be treated with respect.
Okay. Speaking on brands, this can obviously be beeped out. What is a brand you think that bartenders all pretend to like just because it's popular and that they don't actually?
You know, that's a tough.
We can bleep the answer, don't worry.
I don't know that I have one.
Very cool.
I don't know that I have
it's
one.
Fernet for me. I don't get it. I order it. I don't get it. I order it because when I order it, other bartenders are like, all right, cool. You're a cool guy. I know you. I was like,
I don't know because my tastes have changed. Like,
well, you like bitter. Yeah, you're a bitter fan.
I didn't get into Jägermeister until I was like 27 or 26, and I used to think that everyone was just making it up.
Oh, that was so stigmatized.
I feel like it changes. I feel like your preferences and your palate can change. I used to be really, really big into Fernet. Not so much these days. Okay. So yeah, that's a tough question to answer. I
got you there, love. What is a ingredient that you think bartenders just use to impress other bartenders in drinks? Like, hey, I threw some of this in there. Chartreuse.
So not necessarily an ingredient.
Okay.
And no shade, no tea, no shade to anybody. But just because you put a dehydrated garnish on a cocktail doesn't mean that it's elevated.
Thank you. Thank you.
I don't know when we all decided that was the standard.
I don't get it.
But I mean, there are other options out there.
Okay, so what is the grossest thing you've seen a guest do at a bar?
I don't think I want to say that on camera.
Good for you. Oh, geez, that is. Hey, you know who you are. That was disgusting. That was terrible. What is your kind of go-to when someone says, "Can I speak to a manager?" How do you handle that situation? You think it's going to be bad every time, or
no, not necessarily. Sometimes they want to pay a compliment. I mean, I don't know. I feel like as bartenders, we're all really good at de-escalation. So using context clues, that's it could be one of two things. But I definitely am like, sure, right away. I'm not here to argue with anybody. So.
Okay. What's something a guest has said to you that just kind of has always stuck with you? That you, still to this day can think about. Could be something really nice, whether just in passing, or it could have been the meanest thing in the world, and you still think about it.
I don't know in what context it was necessarily coming from, but I thought it was really sweet and genuine. They just told me to never settle.
Oh, love that.
I was like, oh, thank you.
Thank you. Yeah,
that was sweet. Cool. That was kind.
That's very sweet. What is the wildest shift that you have endured? And by that specifically, most of the answers are kind of like, I worked St. Patty's Day this year, or I did the U.S. Open. I know you do a lot of event bartending, so.
Yeah, so this was from a few years back at a bar in San Antonio called Still Golden. I worked at Still Golden and then their sister bar, Brooklynite. But we used to do a really cool event every October where we would have each of our 4 bars turn into one of the Harry Potter houses. Oh. And so I got to work Gryffindor my first year, which was at the Brooklynite. That was
very cool.
That was a special day. It was a lot. Our AC went out. It was insane. The batches were running out. It was wild. And then I got to do Slytherin House the next year at Still Golden, and it was just insane. We were a brand new bar, busiest bar on the block, 4 wells, 4 deep at all times, couldn't breathe, shoulder to shoulder. And yeah, you just had to power through it. And everyone was dressed head to toe like witches and warlocks. And my manager was dressed like Hagrid. It was awesome.
Very fucking cool. That is very cool. Did you notice a difference between the houses as you bartended at Gryffindor and as Slytherin house?
They got real sloppy at Gryffindor.
They can't party like Slytherin does. Okay. Love that. That's crazy. Man, that's actually fucking, hey, that's a super cool party. I got to get out there. What is there a cocktail that you don't enjoy making, but it's a very popular one, so you can't really say anything about it?
I feel like I'm kind of the opposite because like I love making mojitos, I love making lemon drops, I love making cosmopolitans. I think I really like making drinks that I enjoy drinking. So I don't mind it. It's super easy, but sometimes I'm just like, okay, I'll make you an old fashioned, but like I don't mind the intricate ones or the ones that take a little extra effort. So maybe just like the basic cocktails. Kind of.
All right. Yeah. It is funny to call those basic cocktails. We're like they are the run of the mill, but
yes.
Some
they don't have to be basic. They don't have to be. You're right. Yeah.
For some reason, like I remember when basic was a bad thing, like 7 years ago. I was like basic. I was like, but you should learn your basics. Like you should know your basics.
Is a beautiful thing.
Yes.
Like you can still mess up an old fashioned real quick. So definitely.
Okay. I don't think I have too many more. Let me just look at this list here. Actually, Trenton the Trench, Dumbest Flex. No, we did that one. Oh, have you ever held a really petty grudge against a guest, and what was
absolutely
it for?
Yes. Yeah. Because I didn't like the way they spoke to me, or I didn't like the way,
petty, fuck that.
Or I didn't like the way that they treated someone, as they were walking in, or maybe I saw them litter before they came in the bar, so I just kind of made a note in my head, and I was like, nope,
no,
didn't enjoy that.
Fuck that. No, that's the worst. I don't like that at all. What is your go-to shot? You see a bartender out in the wild, and you want to send them a shot without knowing what they drink. You just kind of like, oh, Alex over there, send him a, what do you send? And why?
So 2 answers, two-part answer. Pathfinder, always.
Of course. Yes, of course.
But if you talked to me maybe a few years ago, a shot of Jägermeister.
Okay. Woo-hoo-hoo. Problematic. I love that. People don't give Jaeger its credit, man. The Germans did something with just super, super high proof, high flavor, and they're like, we're just doing it.
It's an acquired taste, but it is one that I love.
Were you ever a fan of liquid cocaine shots?
I cannot say that I've ever enjoyed one of those.
People do it. I don't get it.
Came into bartending around that that era.
Okay.
And luckily I didn't do that not luckily. There's always a time and a place for that. I don't want to say that because I will happily enjoy a gummy bear shot or a sweet tart shot.
Come on, you can't not. Yeah.
But yeah, I'm not familiar.
Okay. Very cool. Man, it's hard. We talked about it on the show, obviously, with people you're meeting at Tells, like to find somebody who isn't a bar friend. Back home in Virginia, we have so many garbage people. Those garbage people aren't spending the money to go to Tells to meet so we kind of went in knowing that everyone's going to kind of be a bar friend. You are an absolute certified bar friend. I thoroughly love what you're doing. Not enough people really do travel, and when they do travel, they just hit the New York, Miami, LA, and hitting the nice little chalets of Utah. Very, very cool. The smaller cities in Colorado, not Denver. I think that's very cool. You're a journeyman in this industry. You're a light. We like to refer to bartenders as lighthouses, where kind of the guests are lost wandering souls out in the sea and kind of being beckoned in by these beautiful souls. And I think you're obviously one of them. I wanted to thank you, obviously, for doing the show. You are a certified bar friend. Is there anything you want to shout out or plug before?
No, thank you for coming down to Texas and spending time. And awesome that you made it to Tales. And yeah, looking forward to having some new friends in the DMV now. Oh, yeah.
When you come back in town, hit us up. DC. Back-to-back U.S. best bartenders. We got Capri, and now we got Christine. Christine, I love you. Fucking text me back. Do the show. She's like, I don't want to be on the show. I was like, you're going to be on a lot of shows now. I was like, you're the best in the world now. You're going to be on a lot of shows. We'll see you guys fucking next week. Love you. Okay. What's up? I'm Isaac.
I got hit in the face by a stripper.
And I'm Nick. I'm like a fat girl in 7th grade at 7 a.m.
Welcome to the Bargoyles,
where we break down restaurants, bars,
and the chaos of stand-up comedy.
From bad Yelp reviews
to heckler horror stories,
we've got the inside scoop
and the laughs.
Yeah, I think I know from that podcast, Bargoyles Podcast. Yeah.
I was gonna say I love you guys. You guys are amazing. Shout out.
Who needs therapy when you got the Bargoyles?